In the world of finance, bankers are trusted with the most powerful weapon on earth, money. But what happens when the man guarding billions decides to steal it all? Today's story is about a banker, a respected financial genius, a man who lived in luxury and then one day disappeared with over $1 billion. No body, no arrest, no final answer. This is the mystery of the banker who outsmarted the system. He wasn't a criminal, at least not on paper. He was a senior investment banker, working at one of the most powerful private banks in the world. Educated at elite universities, trusted by politicians, corporations, and ultra-rich clients, he handled offshore accounts, international transfers, and high-value investments. To everyone else, he was the definition of success. A luxury apartment, private jets, expensive watches, and invitations to the most exclusive parties. They already talked. But behind the scenes, something dangerous was happening. He wasn't just managing wealth. He was studying the very system that created it, looking for its weaknesses. The trust people placed in him became his greatest weapon. He was the perfect insider, the man nobody would ever suspect. Modern banking runs on two things: trust and complexity. The system is so incredibly complicated that only a handful of people truly understand its inner workings. And he was one of them. He knew exactly how delayed transactions could be exploited. He knew how shell companies could be used to hide ownership. He understood how offshore accounts in secretive jurisdictions could avoid detection. And most importantly, he knew how financial audits could be manipulated, making massive irregularities look like simple accounting errors. Slowly, carefully, he began moving tiny amounts of money. Nothing noticeable, nothing suspicious. Pennies on the dollar, fractions of a percent, amounts so small they were dismissed as rounding errors, until those tiny amounts became millions. And by then, the system was already bleeding, and he was the only one holding the bucket. The money didn't just go to one single account. That would have been too easy to trace. Instead, it was a masterpiece of financial deception. The funds were meticulously spread across a global network. Some went to Caribbean tax havens, notorious for their secrecy. Other parts were funneled into Swiss private vaults, protected by centuries of banking privacy laws. He moved funds through newly established Asian digital banks with lax regulations. And to make it even more untraceable, a significant portion was converted into crypto, stored in anonymous wallets under layers of fake identities. On paper, the money belonged to hundreds of different shell companies with no clear owner. In reality, every single dollar was under his control. By the time internal auditors finally noticed what they called irregularities, it was too late. Over $1 billion had already vanished into thin air. Then came the day he disappeared. One morning, the brilliant banker just didn't show up for work. Calls to his phone went straight to voicemail. His colleagues thought maybe he was sick or on an unannounced trip. But when security checked his apartment, they found it empty. There were no signs of a struggle. No forced entry. It was as if he had simply packed a bag and walked out. At the airport, CCTV footage showed him calmly boarding an international flight. But after that moment, the trail went cold. There were no immigration records of him landing anywhere. No hotel bookings under his name. No credit card or bank card usage. It was as if he had stepped off that plane and erased himself from existence. The bank went into complete panic mode. Governments got involved. International arrest warrants were issued, but the man and the $1 billion were already gone. A global manhunt began. Interpol, the FBI, and national police forces across continents joined the search. It was one of the largest financial investigations in history. Authorities tracked every possible lead. They looked into private islands in the Pacific, luxury yachts sailing in the Mediterranean, and even the dark corners of underground crypto markets. They froze any account they could link to him. They seized properties, including his lavish homes and collections. They arrested his known associates, hoping someone would talk. But the mastermind himself, he was never found. Some investigators believe he used his vast fortune to change his face through extensive plastic surgery. Others think he adopted a dead man's identity, complete with a fake history and new documents. One chilling theory even suggests he never left the country. He just became someone else, hiding in plain sight. Over the years, 3 major theories have emerged, each more shocking than the last. The first theory is that he's living like a king, hidden away on a private, uncharted island, or perhaps in a country with no extradition treaty, surrounded by loyal guards, living a life of unimaginable luxury off his untraceable assets. He won, and he's enjoying his prize. The second theory is much darker. He was silenced. Powerful people lost a lot of money when he disappeared. And powerful people don't forgive. Some believe he was quietly found and eliminated. A warning to anyone else who might try to cheat the system. His body, like the money, would never be found. The third theory is perhaps the most fascinating. He planned everything from the start. The theft, the escape, the disappearance. It was all just another transaction. Perfectly calculated. Perfectly executed. He's not just a thief. He's a ghost in the machine he helped create. To this day, the most important questions remain unanswered. Where is the $1 billion? How did one man defeat the entire global banking security apparatus? And the biggest question of all, did he act alone? Or did he have help from inside? The bank never fully recovered from the scandal. Several top executives were forced to resign in disgrace. New, stricter laws were introduced to prevent something like this from ever happening again, but the mystery of the vanished banker remains unsolved. A ghost story told in the hallways of Wall Street in the city of London. This story proves one thing. The most dangerous criminals don't carry guns. They carry access. They understand the systems we depend on better than we do. And somewhere out there in the world, a billionaire banker might still be watching us, smiling, knowing that he beat the house and won. If you enjoy real-life mysteries like this, subscribe to our channel, because some stories are never meant to be solved. Thanks for watching.